Ever since I can remember, I've actually had dreams about fish. It's like my recurring dream is about fish. And I've just been fascinated by them and their lives. I started getting interested in animal behavior, working at the zoo, trying to figure out what's missing from the animals' lives, and realizing that this is really about psychology and sociology. And I was at the aquarium in Coney Island in New York. The fish were showing problems of, repetitive swimming behaviors and not thriving and not eating or dying. The first study I did was at the aquarium with walruses. You're told to be a good scientist, you really need to sort of lower your expectations. The animals are not really as intelligent as you are. They don't have as strong preferences. But then when I started seriously looking into fish issues, that's when I came up against all of these incredible harms that they face, from aquaculture expansion to depletion of fish populations in the oceans to damming of rivers to the wildlife trade and the hundreds of thousands of fish that are caught in the wild and shipped all over the world for home aquariums. The scale and the scope of the problem with fish is really sort of off the charts. So it became not only something that I was interested in, but also a very urgent problem that we're facing, and in particular the fish are facing. It's almost half, if not more than half, of the fish who are being eaten globally are coming from aquaculture and not being caught in the wild. And that is in large part because the wild has been so depleted. There's so few fish left in the ocean. There's hundreds of species involved. And yet it's being undertaken and expanded upon as if it were just a normal expansion of farming practice. It's not normal. You can have these entirely new operations that are just huge containers of water with fish in them, with very little monitoring of what's going on inside of there. The conditions are just terrible. You have nothing for the fish to do except for to swim into a circle. There's anything from parasitic infection to the inability to form stable social groups, which can lead to high levels of aggression, where they literally can be, physically injuring each other. And then there's the handling practices of, getting hauled out of water, moved from one tank to another tank, one net to another net. They'll have some conveyor belt that takes them through a stunning bath and then at some point, get decapitated. There's no reason to think that they don't feel pain. There really is no evidence out there that shows that they don't feel pain. While I don't think that acknowledging their sentience and intelligence would sort of magically fix the exploitation problems, I think it would make it much more difficult, and it would force us to be honest about the incredible costs that we are imposing on the other species on this planet through our behaviors and our actions. I think it begins with at least being honest about what we are actually doing. And what we need to do as human beings who care about this world, care about the species living in this world, care about each other, is we need to be more open to listening to what the other species are telling us in all of their diverse and very varied ways. We can plug our ears and close our eyes and blind ourselves to the communications that we're receiving from the rest of the world. But that's our fault. That is not their fault.